The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning, Kern County. It is 5 a.m. on this Friday morning. I'm Alex Fisher alongside Chris Burton.
We begin this morning with a city still reeling from the loss of a young brother and sister who were killed when a car careened off a city street in South Bakersfield and struck them as they stood on a sidewalk Wednesday afternoon.
19-year-old J.J. Malone, a recent graduate of Golden Valley High School, had just met his sister, 10-year-old Kaylee Brown, at the school bus drop-off when a westbound silver sedan veered across the eastbound lanes off Panama Lane, jumped the curb and hit them. The car took out a utility box, sideswiped a telephone pole, crushed JJ's bicycle, and smashed into a tree. Police arrested 46-year-old Lisa Gwynn Core on a litany of charges, including first-degree murder. Also killed in the crash was a 3-year-old German Shepherd Pit Mix, believed to be JJ's dog. But those details are the furthest thing on the minds of Keeley's 5th grade classmates at Granite Point Elementary.
I can tell you that it's a difficult day in Greenville. Whenever you lose one of your shining stars, it is a difficult day. She was a 5th grade student who was described as bright and intelligent, soft-spoken and reserved. Great kid, and we are going to miss her.
A memorial of balloons and candles has been growing by the minute at the scene of the crash. A member of the victim's family has set up a GoFundMe account to help with funeral and other expenses. For a link, visit our website, kget.com.
Meantime, this morning, the woman charged in the deadly crash is due in court later today. 17's Maddie Gannon sat down with Lisa Core for a one-on-one interview at the Kern County Jail.
46-year-old Lisa Core says she was driving home on Panama Lane after picking up her prescription medication on Wednesday. The next thing she remembers is being pulled from her smashed car and taken to the hospital. That's when she heard what happened.
Because they wanted to send me to another hospital, and I said I didn't want to go to another hospital, I just want to go home. And the officer said, "You killed 2 people." That was the first I ever heard of it. I thought he was lying to me.
She's a chronic drunken driver, but now the mom of 2 is facing 2 counts of murder for drifting through multiple lanes of traffic, plowing onto the sidewalk, and killing a brother and sister Wednesday. Bakersfield police say Core was under the influence. She says something else.
And I knew that I had a seizure, because I do have seizures. I wasn't under the influence, I wasn't drunk, I don't drink.
But according to court records, this isn't the first time Core has been accused of taking the wheel while intoxicated. She has 2 previous convictions for driving under the influence in 2009 and 2013. Core admits to those charges, saying she drank to cope with anxiety, depression, and PTSD from abuse. But about 8 months ago, she says that all changed.
I went to a psychiatric hospital, got the help I needed there.
Core says the hospital prescribed her multiple different types of medication. That's what she says stopped her drinking, and that's what she was picking up minutes before the fatal crash.
I'm so sorry to the parents. I wish I could give my life back for theirs.
17's Maddie Gannon reporting. You can see her full interview with Lisa Core on our website, kget.com. Pedestrian safety and Kern's sober reality are 2 of our signature issues here at TV 17, which means we realize this is a much broader issue in our community and requires special attention. 2021 is a record year for people killed in pedestrian crashes since we began keeping track in 2016. 53 people have been killed so far this year. Last year, the number was 30. The previous record was set back in 2017 with 42 lives lost.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, 4 suspects using tools broke glass display cases at the Kevin Jewelers business inside the Valley Plaza Mall and made off with merchandise. Bakersfield police say they were called to the mall just after 12:30 p.m. yesterday for a burglary in progress, and that shots were fired inside the mall. Officers arrived within minutes and found no evidence of victims or a shooting. It's believed the sound of gunshots was actually the sound of the tool the suspects were using to break the glass display cases. No arrests have been made in this case.
And just moments later, a deadly crash takes a bizarre twist when a survivor carjacked someone who stopped to help. It happened on Interstate 5 north of Herring Road. The California Highway Patrol says a sedan crashed into an orchard, impaling one person. CHP says a Good Samaritan pulled over to help, but the driver of the wrecked sedan took the person's car by gunpoint. The investigation continues this morning.
More than a dozen law enforcement officers, dispatchers, and investigators were recognized last night by the Kern County Law Enforcement Foundation. The 33rd Annual Officer of the Year Awards dinner was held at the Kern County Fairgrounds. Among those honored, Kern County Sheriff's Deputy Phillip Campas, who was killed in July during a standoff in Wasco. Last night, his family surrounded Sheriff Donnie Youngblood as the sheriff presented Campas and his partner, Senior Deputy Desander Guerrero, the Act of Valor Award. The sheriff also showed off a plaque with the name of Campas and the entire SWAT team that will be installed outside the Fox Theater on January 12th.
He was a drill sergeant in the Marine Corps. He served in a war zone. Everything he did was first. He didn't have to be the lead on this particular incident, but he chose to. He chose to be the lead. That's what a hero is.
The Officer of the Year Award went to Kern County DA investigator Darren Wonderly.
There was also a special recognition last night for Bakersfield Police K-9 Django, who was shot and killed on April 27th while trying to help capture a suspect. Django's handler, Senior Officer Brock Mueller, spoke about his partner of 4 years, who is the first and only K-9 killed in the department's 123-year history. A bronze statue of Django was also unveiled last night. It will be placed in front of the Bakersfield Police Department headquarters in memory of the fallen K-9.
Making headlines around the world, at least 53 people are dead and dozens more injured following a cargo truck crash in southern Mexico. Authorities say the crash happened on a highway leading toward the Chiapas state capital when a cargo truck, which was jammed with people at the time, tipped over and hit the base of a steel pedestrian bridge. The Federal Attorney General's office said the preliminary estimate lists 53 dead, with 3 of the injured in critical condition. The victims appeared to be migrants from Central America, but their nationalities have not yet been confirmed.
The CDC and the FDA have now both signed off on Pfizer booster shots for 16 and 17-year-olds, giving teenagers stronger protection against COVID-19 just in time for holiday gatherings, and just as cases are surging once again across the country. In some states, hospitals are so overwhelmed, governors are sending in National Guard troops to help. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington.
Good morning, Alex. Federal regulators are expanding access to booster shots as new research shows they're critical to mounting a strong defense against the Omicron variant. Though right now it's the surging Delta variant, once again filling hospitals with unvaccinated patients. With COVID cases and hospitalizations increasing rapidly.
Another day, another shift with no beds here in Colorado.
Just 2 weeks before Christmas gatherings, 16 and 17-year-olds are now eligible for Pfizer booster shots. Health officials and the White House urging the extra protection for everyone 16 and up.
Got vaccinated 6 months ago. Get your booster right away.
That after Pfizer released new data showing boosters give 25 times the protection against the fast-spreading Omicron variant compared to 2 shots.
I think we're going to see a change in definition to what fully vaccinated means very soon. It's essentially going to mean 3 doses of an mRNA vaccine.
But it's the 40% of Americans who still haven't had their first 2 doses, driving the latest wave of Delta COVID cases, washing over hospitals and pushing healthcare workers to a breaking point.
I'm tired of it. us nurses, other coworkers, respiratory therapists, all the medical team, we are tired.
The governors of New York, New Hampshire, and Maine now sending National Guard troops to help in overwhelmed hospitals.
Because more unvaccinated people are ending up in ICUs and on ventilators. The numbers have not leveled off. They have not gone down. They're just going up.
Medical experts hoping to stave off another dark winter with vaccines now offering a way out.
So far, kids younger than 16 are not eligible for booster shots, though health officials say 2 doses should protect them for several months because their immune response is generally stronger than in adults. In Washington, Alice Barr, 17 News.
And now to the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern County. Kern Public Health yesterday confirmed 157 cases and 7 new deaths. More than 1,800 people have died since the pandemic began, and more than 50,000 people have been infected since the COVID-19 vaccine became widely available. According to the state, there are 130 people in Kern hospitals, and 33 more are fighting for their lives in the ICU.
And with our COVID death toll steadily rising here in Kern County, American Fabrication in Rosedale is asking for more submissions to its memorial, honoring those here at home who have lost their lives to COVID-19. The company says it currently has 330 names on the wall, with another 150 soon to be added. But they still have room and are asking for more submissions. The next public unveiling of the updated memorial is set for March, 2 years after the project began. If you would like to submit a name of a loved one, you're asked to email mjlbettis@gmail.com.
In your 17 Court Watch, a Bakersfield man has pleaded guilty to distributing meth and black market painkillers containing fentanyl. Federal authorities say 29-year-old Wilfredo Medina Perez admitted to distributing 442 grams of meth and more than 13,000 counterfeit oxycodone pills containing fentanyl. His co-defendant, 35-year-old Uriel Ivan Portillo, pleaded guilty last month to delivering 5,000 fentanyl pills to an undercover officer. Medina Perez is set for sentencing March 4th. Portillo will learn his punishment on February 18th.
And there's a reason we refer to fentanyl as the counterfeit killer. The illicit synthetic opioid is sweeping the country and taking lives. Here in Kern County, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood told us yesterday during an interview with 17 News at Sunrise that 180 people have died due to fentanyl overdoses this year alone. That is a 44% increase from last year's death toll of 125. Fentanyl is turning up not only as an unadvertised substitute for heroin, its chemical cousin, but in virtually every street drug, cocaine, meth, ecstasy, and pharmaceutical knockoffs such as counterfeit oxycodone and Xanax, and in many cases, users don't realize that what they're taking.
For more on the fentanyl pandemic, including 17's Robert Price's in-depth series, Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer, visit our website, kget.com/fentanyl.
County officials yesterday held a grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony at a new affordable housing community for local veterans. The residences at East Hills are located on Bernard Street, just southeast of the former location of the East Hills Mall. The gated community offers a slew of amenities, including laundry facilities and playgrounds for kids.
When you're traveling across that Kern County line, you see a sign. It says, Kern County, where we honor veterans. This is yet another example of how true that is for our community.
If you are or know a veteran interested in living in this new community, you can apply at the Housing Authority of Kern's website at kernha.org.
It's been almost a year since brothers Orson and Orrin West disappeared from the California City home of their adoptive parents days before Christmas.
Yeah, and a toy drive in honor of the boys will mark the long year of unanswered questions, but will also teach children about stranger danger safety. The ongoing toy drive is gathering toys, books, and winter clothing that will be distributed to children in Lancaster, California City, and Bakersfield. It's a yearly tradition for Pull It Off Foundation founder Keisha Johnson, but this year she wanted to do things different in order to help the biological family of the boys.
let's just make it in honor of the boys, and therefore we can keep the awareness out there. So when we give the toys, we speaking about the boys also, and we're giving out the flyers, because you never know what child seen them, what adult seen them. So we just like to just keep it, and we're going to keep doing this until they're found.
Every year, the foundation delivers toys to more than 50 children. This year, they hope to gather enough toys and clothing to not only brighten up the holidays of more kids, but to spread awareness as far as they can. For more details on how you can donate or for our full coverage of the California City Boys, just head to our website, kget.com.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.